What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at a bit of a different video. So instead of a normal workout vlog, we're going to compare 1 week's workout to the next week's, kind of giving you a week of progression in one workout. So this was a push workout focused on shoulder strength, and we started off with overhead press. For week 1, I was doing my 4x6 with 110 pounds. And now, the entire purpose of this video is going to be to show you that with proper training, proper diet, which is the most important part, and proper rest, you can expect a reasonable progression like this in a nice 4 to 5 week cycle of training and then deloading and doing it again. And that's how you're going to progress the quickest in your lifts. So as you can see next week with the overhead press, the 4x6 is now at 115 pounds. For any of my pushing movements, whether it's bench or overhead press, I really kind of move up 2.5 pounds on each side or 5 pounds overall per week. I found that for me, if I'm eating right, sleeping right, that's the real way to progress without putting on too much weight the next week. For other exercises, you're going to see minute changes like this. So this was my incline bench press, and this was week 1. You'll notice that I'm doing a 3x10 at 110 pounds. What's different about this week was I had the bench set a little higher and my hands a little closer together. It was intense, but I was feeling it more in my shoulders than in my chest. As you can see here, I was pretty gassed, and it was a little bit of a surprise to me how tough it was. So the next week, I didn't change the weight at all. It's a different plate setup, but it's still 110 pounds. And I'm pressing it the same exact way, just on a slightly less of an incline. This allowed me to feel my chest better, and I widened my hand grip a little bit to feel to my chest better. So you don't always have to progress in weight or in reps. Sometimes all it takes is just adjusting your form to feel a little better, and you can see that moved much better. It actually felt a lot lighter, and I ended up adding up a couple more reps in the following sets. After that, I moved into this flat dumbbell bench. So for week 1, you can see here working on 70 pounds. Now, when you progress in any movement that's kind of secondary, so you would say that the primary movement today was overhead press. Any of your secondary movements, they don't have to increase each week. This was my 3rd week, maybe my 2nd week of doing the 70-pound dumbbells, and for some weeks maybe I get them for 2 of the sets. I'll get them for 10. Other weeks I get them for all 3. I like to get it 2 weeks in a row where I get it for the set and rep range desired, and then I'll increase the weight. Now we're supersetting these with flies, and you'll notice both weeks I use the 30s. For me, especially with supersets, I don't feel like increasing the second weight in the set regularly. I only do that after it's really something that I can manage. So week 2, we came back to it, 3x10 again, this time with the 75-pound dumbbells. Definitely more of a struggle, but I was able to get them this week for 1 set of 10, then 1 set of 8, and I dropped back down to the 70s for another set of 10. So that means that in the following weeks, I'm going to be working on trying to get these 75s for all 3 sets of 10. When I can do that, and I get another week of that under my belt, I'll move up to the 80s. And again, as you can see here, I keep the 30-pound dumbbells like I did from the week before to really focus on that stretch and squeeze. In these superset movements where you're trying to get blood flow, it's not about how much weight you can move, it's how well you can feel the muscle. So the 30s for me allow me to feel my muscle very, very well and tax me just close to failure at the very end. Week 1, moving into the hypertrophy for shoulders, we're doing a dumbbell front raise superset with dumbbell laterals. This is 3 sets of 12 with 15 pounds. This was my 3rd week using the 15-pound dumbbells, and by now they're feeling pretty light. And then I was doing laterals with the 25s. These were feeling significantly heavier, and I wasn't getting quite as many reps as I wanted to. So what you'll see here is in week 2, after a short little flex to make sure that those muscles are still there, and they are. In week 2, doing the dumbbell front raise, I now up the front raise to 20 pounds, and I've lowered the laterals to 20 pounds. So you'll find this as well. Sometimes when you're doing a superset, you need a trade-off to make sure that both muscles are taxed equally. Now, because these 20s are a little bit lighter, I'm using much more strict form than I was with the 25s, going slower, focusing on the negative, and really trying to squeeze with that lateral head of the delts. When I can't get all the way up anymore, I pump out a couple more and then drop set to get that extra volume that I was missing from the 25s the week before. So again, this is a more advanced way that you can really up the intensity of your training and get the volume you want, but maybe not the weight you need or the weight that you had the week before. So I didn't need the 25s. I really needed to go down and focus on the form to make those work. After that, we focused on the rear delts for a little bit. Week 1, doing 3x10 with the 40 pounds. I thought that my form wasn't great here. I felt like my back was a little bit rounded. I wasn't driving them as high as I could. And this was supersetted with an easy curl bar lateral. This is an interesting movement because it is just like a lateral that you would do with a dumbbell, but having the easy curl bar makes you have to focus on the rear delt a little bit more to stabilize. Week 2, we're doing the same sets, same reps, same weight. And again, this is something that I do more often than not in my training. You're gonna see weeks where you're doing the same exact number of reps, sets at the same weight, and it's just to perfect your form and do the exercise even more properly. If you're progressing but your form is decreasing, you're not going to get the same out of it as if you're mastering the movement. So really focus on mastering the movement before adding extra weight. Finally, we move into triceps. This is the end of the push workout. And again, you'll see here, this is a prime example of staying at the same weight, reps and sets, focusing on bettering the movement, bettering the mind-muscle connection. As you get to the end of your workout, again, weight is really not a priority here, and especially for arms, I find they respond better to higher reps and a better mind-muscle connection. So this week I did 50 pounds for the French press, and I do 50 pounds for the easy curl incline skull crusher. What's nice about these is they're both overhead movements, so you're going to get an equal amount of activation from both the medial head, the lateral head, and the long head. The long head, because it's really primed in the overhead movements, it's not going to be used as much in push downs and kickbacks than other tricep exercises like that. So I like to start off with these and really focus on getting a lot of volume with them because it allows you to really activate the tricep in its whole, and you can kind of lift not necessarily heavier weight, but you can lift heavier weight with these and really tax the triceps. So as you can see here, week 2, personally, I think that my triceps, I think I can see the growth in them even in a week of just eating well, sleeping well. I feel like they look bigger, they look a little bit more defined. But again, using these same exact weight, I'm focusing on tucking my elbows. It's hard to see it from the side angle, but I'm focusing on tucking my elbows in more and really pressing through the tricep. And then with the dumbbell skull crusher, slowing the movement, keeping it on the triceps. And you see my elbows dip back at the end there. That's to really stretch that long head. And that's going to give you a very deep burn in the tricep. If I came down and I didn't give it that extension backwards, I could pump out a lot more weight for even greater reps. But adding in that stretch and squeeze on the long head, it gives you amazing growth, but it will limit the amount of weight. Again though, arms, I believe, at least for me, they're going to respond the best to higher reps, lighter weight, very, very good form. We finished up both weeks weight-wise doing dumbbell kickbacks. I did 20s for week 1. Week 2, I felt that I could go up in weight, but I also wanted to change the angle. So you see I upped the bench and now I'm standing up, but I felt much more activation here, and you can kind of see it in my triceps that they were squeezing much, much better. Now, again, I've said this throughout the video, I really believe that high volume is the best way to kill the arms and to get that growth. So at the end of my workouts, I've been doing one set of 100 push downs continuously. And for both weeks, I did the 20 pounds with a V-bar push down. And really what this is doing is you're just pushing blood into that muscle, causing the tissue that surrounds the muscle to have to expand, and it creates room for future muscle growth, which is the basic idea of hypertrophy. If you watch some of my other videos on that, I get into more detail. But the weight here is not an issue. Basically, I'm locking myself in, trying to keep the same exact positioning, and just squeezing the heck out of that muscle, giving it everything I got. I mean, it's 100 reps. This is the last exercise you do. It's giving it all or nothing right here, and that's what we're trying to do. And then, of course, every week ends with a little bit of posing to get an idea for where my physique's at. As someone who is working towards doing a men's physique competition one day, practicing my posing is always very important to me, because having not just the mind-muscle connection while lifting, but the mind-muscle connection of knowing how to position your body to look well on stage is a very important factor to me. And I like looking week to week to see the changes. So looking at this from week to week, I can see the growth in the arms even on a weekly basis. And if you compare month over month, I guarantee you'll see changes too in your own body if you're training well, eating well, and sleeping well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you liked the kind of comparison on a week-to-week basis. I haven't seen it done much before, so I figured it would be a cool idea to try to throw that in here. If you liked the video, hit that like button. Subscribe for more videos every day. I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace out.